In this time of sheltering in place, have you gotten to the point where you're just a little bit tired of your family? Maybe you're thinking about trading them in for a new one, or sending them away for good. The Netflix original film, The Willoughbys, takes a look at a very less than perfect family and how a little bit of love can go a long way. In this animated film, the Willoughby parents are absolutely terrible, so their children devise a plan to send them away on a permanent vacation, hoping that life without parents will be the perfect life. This is mildly dark, and while it's aimed at kids, the story nuances will definitely fly over the heads of the younger ones, leaving them with a different impression of the movie's message than actually is. Ricky Gervais is our narrator, Cat, and he's just exactly how you'd imagine. I mean, he's droll, he's sarcastic, he's funny. It's almost as if he's not really a character, he's just sitting there watching the film and telling us what's going on. The voice cast also stars Will Forte, Allesia Cara, Maya Rudolph, Terry Crews, Martin Short, Jane Krakowski, and Sean Cullen. The cast is great, and their use of timing and inflection just really draws us in. And I mean, it will make you laugh at the appropriate times and cringe when you're supposed to also. They just work really well off of each other, and I don't know if they were filmed all looking at each other or if they filmed each of their voice parts individually, but it sounds like they were together because they just riff off each other so well, and it's such great comedic timing that it's very believable and you almost forget that you're watching an animated film. Speaking of animation, it is fantastic. I mean, it is such a joy to watch this film from a visual standpoint. It's just beautiful. It's computer generated, but they also mess a little bit with the frame rate to give it almost a stop motion feel at times. And there is a lot of humor in this too. I mean, some of it is dry, some of it is sarcastic, a lot of it is dark, but overall it's really funny. Now, honestly, I was a bit concerned about how they were gonna make the parents terrible. Like, are these just entitled children who feel that they don't get enough screen time, and so they label their parents as bad parents? But luckily, no, that is not the case. These are just terrible individuals. You would not like them if you met them, regardless if they're parents or not. They are self-absorbed, self-centered, and just horrid. But they're also funny in their own right, and the way that they connect. You have these two people played by Martin Short and Jane Krakowski, and they work really well together as well. I mean, they are the perfect, terrible duo of parents. And I don't know if it's coming through on the microphone right now, but one of my neighbors decided that it was now time to mow the lawn. So if you hear this low rumbling going on, well, that's what it is. Adults, teens, and kids can all enjoy this, but you gotta beware, especially with the younger ones, that there is a depressing undertone to the entire thing. And it is still quite funny. I mean, you have the verbal humor, but also the visual sight gags as well. And they play that up really well. I mean, they have a lot of fun with it. And obviously, because it's animation, they can do a lot of things that would normally kill a person, but they can do that in this and have a bunch of fun and make us laugh at the same time. I especially like Terry Crews' character design. He is just this big candy dude who they even make fun of his costume because it's the dry humor. Maya Rudolph plays the nanny, and she delivers her lines perfectly too. And when they meet each other, it's just classic. And I loved it because it's just the subtle lines of humor, and it's all in the delivery. And then you have these social workers who look like they're straight out of the Matrix. So everything about this film is just a lot of fun to see. And you can tell just by even from the photos, the stills of this, that the Willoughby family, all of their hair is yarn, and that plays into it as well. This also allows them to have some gags that the little kids may or may not get. It's definitely geared at the adults at that point. It's got a 90-minute runtime, and it scoots right along. I mean, it is the perfect length for this film, and it doesn't hurt that the art is beautiful also. I mean, I didn't feel bored in this. I didn't think it dragged at all. I just enjoyed every bit that I was watching. And then you also have a little bit of musical numbers thrown in there too. Not long, not extended, but just it brought a different feel to different parts and evoked a little bit of a different emotion, and I appreciated that. So if you're looking for something that is visually spectacular with a wonderful voice cast, really funny, and a pretty decent core message, you might want to check this out. Families are all about love. So love on your family today. There is no sex, nudity, profanity. There is some animated violence, and then there's also some rude and snarky dialogue. So if you have little kids who tend to parrot things that they hear, just beware of that. I give the Willoughbys 4.5 out of 5 couches. What's a visually stunning animated film or show that you're watching? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.